Let's go back to Durban now, because when that court order was about to be given in Cape Town, I was chatting to him about the case of the Zandile Gumede fraud trial, where a second witness took the stand today. Of course, we remember that the first witness fell ill and then court was adjourned. Gumede is former Tegwini mayor, and 21 others are facing charges ranging from fraud and corruption to racketeering. This is about a multi-million rand solid waste tender. Dasen Thathiah, our senior reporter in Durban. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for waiting. We just wanted to bring to our viewers that important application, which was done on an urgent basis in Cape Town against the march that's coming up on Monday. Now, back to the Zandile Gumede case. You were saying that although it has taken a long time, the trial itself has not really got underway. We still have not dealt with the substantive matters.
No, we haven't. And I think just to remind our viewers, it is very easy to lose track of these matters. This is about more than 320 million rand in alleged fraud. So the state's case is that they believe that Zandile Gumede, at the time as mayor, was running a criminal enterprise within the eThekwini municipality, along with other eThekwini officials. So they allege that she was using her position and influence, as well as the others that were placed in strategic positions, to influence the awarding of tenders. And ultimately, that ended up with 4 companies. Those accused, or the directors of those companies, are among the accused that we always talk about, Zandile Gumede and those 21 others. So ultimately, the state is setting out to prove how this was done and who benefited and to what value. We're talking about tenders here for Durban solid waste. This was initially meant to be worth 45 million rand. So to come back to today, we are only at the beginning stages of unpacking all of this in court, with this being the second witness. So Sean Hitler, he's with the city's Integrity and Investigation Unit. So why he's here and why this is so important is because he was the person who first assessed the information that was received by that department. That department responsible for investigating possible acts of fraud and irregularities within the municipality. So he says that, and this ties in with what his boss had also said, that a bundle of documents was dropped off. But today we were hearing that along with that bundle of documents, there was also a post-it, you know, those sticky pieces of paper that was placed on those documents, pointing out that there were allegedly payments made, but services were not delivered. And it was almost instructing whoever received those documents to look into it, looking at which tenders were awarded and which payments were made for services that were not actually carried out in the end. So by the time we had adjourned today, cross-examination was still underway. I want you to listen to a bit of that interaction between Advocate Jay Naidu for Zandile Gumede while he was cross-examining this witness, Sean Hitler, on the process of when those documents first arrived at the office.
And what would that process entail? That is, the assessment in respect of the veracity of the complaint.
For instance, if this complaint had been reported and all that had been given at the time of the reporting was just a note, then what could possibly happen thereafter is to establish if there is a contract in place that is made mention of, if there's a BAC decision in that aspect, and who the entities involved, the companies.
So in this particular instance, all we had was Exhibit H from page 1 to 27, and based on this Exhibit H, a decision was taken to outsource an investigation to a private investigation firm on the panel.
Your statement that you make is twofold. Based on the investigation that came forward, remember I alluded to the fact that there were certain discrepancies that were identified. A decision is made that the matter be investigated. The allocation of the work to an external service provider is a secondary aspect.
Okay, Dasen, finally, so what's next in this trial?
Well, I can tell you that court won't be sitting on Monday because there has been an instruction according to the judge that this matter and some other matters, I believe it comes from the Office of the Chief Justice, won't be continuing, and then obviously Tuesday being a public holiday. So this case will come back to court on Wednesday. At that point, we still won't hear from the first witness because the court heard today that he will be going back to a doctor on Wednesday, so that means he won't be there. So this cross-examination is expected to continue, but there's not much time left because this particular sitting for this matter ends on Friday.
Okay, thank you very much, Dasen Thathiah, with the update there in that Zandile Gumede plus others, 21 others in that fraud and corruption case that's related to a solid waste tender when she was the mayor of eThekwini.